In the near future, the US government initiates a chemical attack across the entire country to reset society. The attack kills millions within minutes, leaving survivors to fend for themselves. With no government efforts to restore order, people are left with two choices: join one of the violent gangs that dominate the territory, or live as domestics, those who just want to survive in peace. A few months after the attack, a domestic couple, Mark and Nina, prepare to travel to Milwaukee in search of Nina's parents. Despite warnings from Mark's friend about the dangers on the road, Mark insists on the journey to support Nina, even though their marriage was on the brink of divorce before the attack. During the trip, they listen to a radio host advising domestics to avoid highways, watch for snipers, and shoot anyone dressed as a ghost, indicating they belong to the notorious Sheets gang. When their car malfunctions, they stop at an abandoned garage. As Mark works on the car, three men enter the shop. While hiding in the other room, the couple suddenly finds themselves caught in a crossfire as a Sheets gang truck bursts in, killing the intruders. Mark barely gets the car started in time to escape before the gang notices them. Later, they hear on the radio that the Sheets are at war with another gang, the Nailers. That evening, Mark and Nina find an abandoned house to spend the night. While searching the house, Mark discovers a mutilated couple in the bedroom. He covers their bodies out of respect. Nina tries contacting her mother using an old radio, but there's no response. Unbeknownst to them, a man watches the house from outside. The next morning, the man and his friend are captured by a group of Nailers, who threaten them with a chainsaw to extract information about Nina. After revealing her location, the two men are executed. The Nailers then approach the house on their bikes. Nina hides in the attic, drowning out the noise with headphones, while Mark stealthily kills two intruders with a screwdriver. After narrowly escaping, the couple resumes their journey, unaware they are being watched. On the road, they hear about a vigilante from the Cherry Gang rescuing women and killing anyone in her path. At a supermarket stop, they encounter Nathan, the man who had been watching them earlier. He introduces himself and his son, Steven. When Nailers arrive, Steven ambushes and kills them from hiding. Nathan offers to take the couple to his home for dinner, towing their car along. As they leave the supermarket, they are stopped by the Plowboys gang, led by Jim. Jim reveals they've captured Betsy, a member of the Cherry Gang. Although tension rises, Nathan convinces Jim to let them pass. However, they fail to notice that Dean, one of the Nailers Mark thought he had killed, is still alive and watching. At Nathan's home, Mark and Nina join Nathan's family for dinner. The strained relationship between Mark and Nina contrasts with Nathan's affectionate demeanor with his wife. After dinner, Nathan reveals the burgers they ate were made from human flesh, horrifying Mark. When Mark insists on leaving, Nathan threatens them to stay. Suddenly, Dean bursts into the house, holding Nathan's daughter hostage. Nathan offers to trade Mark and Nina for his daughter. Steven, however, sneaks up on Dean, disabling him and leading to a chaotic gunfight. Mark and Nina escape, leaving behind the carnage as Steven kills Dean. Back on the road, Nina expresses her desire to part ways with Mark. Their argument is interrupted when a sniper from the Gamblers gang shoots Nina, forcing Mark to turn back toward town. Meanwhile, Betsy escapes her captors, frees other women, and kills Jim after leaving him locked in a car trunk. Later, she notices movement in the forest and pursues it, forgetting her keys in the lock. The next morning, Nina wakes up in a cabin, her shoulder bandaged. Mark has left a note saying he went out for food, warning her about traps on the front door. Nina prepares to leave but finds notes from Mark apologizing and pleading for their marriage. Feeling guilty, she stays, drinking and dancing to her favorite song. Outside, Betsy watches silently before returning to finish off Jim. Elsewhere, Mark discovers Nathan and Steven as prisoners in a derelict house. Before he can act, a man named William appears, forcing Mark to fight for their freedom in a brutal death match. Mark braces himself and kicks Bill in the groin, but Bill blocks the attack and counters with a powerful punch, knocking Mark to the ground. Bill then throws Mark across the room, kicks him in the stomach, and lifts him by the neck to choke him. As William watches with amusement, Mark headbutts Bill, forcing him to drop him, but Bill quickly regains control and hurls Mark against the furniture. When Bill tries to snap Mark's neck, Mark bites his arm, causing Bill to toss him at William. In the chaos, Mark struggles with William for the gun. During the scuffle, the weapon accidentally fires, killing William. With William dead, Mark frees Nathan, Stephen, and even Bill. They all choose to go their separate ways. When Mark returns to the cabin, he finds Nina asleep on the couch and carries her to bed. Later, she wakes up to see Mark practicing his shooting skills. Curious, she asks him to teach her how to shoot. While they're busy, Betsy sneaks into the cabin and finds Nina's wedding ring. After their practice, Nina shows Mark a car she found in the garage. Nostalgic, Mark reminisces about owning the same model. Caught up in the moment, the couple becomes intimate in the back seat. However, their moment is interrupted when the gamblers' gang arrives, claiming the car as theirs. The couple is captured, and the gamblers spin a wheel to decide their fate. The wheel lands on a spade, sealing their grim outcome. They're thrown into cages and taken to the gamblers' headquarters at a dilapidated motel. The motel is chaotic, with people drinking and fighting everywhere. At check-in, the receptionist notices they're married and assigns them to the Snake Eyes suite. Inside, a host ties their hands to chairs, painfully drills their other hands into guns on a table, and loads a single bullet into each gun. The couple is forced to play Russian roulette, with the host warning that refusal to shoot will result in additional bullets being loaded. If they survive 6 rounds, they'll be set free. Mark urges Nina to shoot without hesitation, but Nina negotiates with the host. She agrees to add 3 more bullets to Mark's gun in exchange for only having to play 2 rounds. The host agrees, and the game begins. In the first round, both guns fire blank chambers. But in the second, Nina's gun discharges, and Mark is shot in the shoulder. As chaos erupts over bets, Nina uses the distraction to free herself, steals the host's gun, and shoots him. She frees Mark, and together they threaten their way out of the room. Nina fires another shot at the host, killing him as he begs for help. Wanda, furious but unarmed, orders the other gang members to let them go for now, but she vows revenge. As the couple escapes, Betsy arrives, sniping the gamblers' rooftop guards before they can fire. The couple drives away amidst open fire, but the gamblers fail to hit their target. Wanda, enraged, declares she won't stop until Nina is caught. Hours later, Mark wakes up in Nina's childhood home in Milwaukee. Neighbors inform them that Nina's father died of an illness, and her mother took her own life to join him. They share a letter from Nina's mother explaining her actions. Nina, devastated but determined, asks how the neighborhood remains safe. The neighbors explain they've created defenses, barricades of cars, sniper rotations, and explosive traps hidden in mailboxes. While inspecting the defenses, Nina reconnects with Phil, an old family friend. Meanwhile, Betsy hides in a nearby house, watching for any threats. Nina later discovers Phil communicating with the gamblers via walkie-talkie. Suspecting betrayal, she spies on him and learns the gang is approaching. At the same time, she spots a little girl on the street and quickly pulls her to safety just as the gamblers arrive. Nina arms herself and orders Mark to protect the child. She ambushes the gang, killing several members before they take cover. Betsy joins the fight, using her machine gun to take out a large number of gamblers. Under heavy fire, Nina reloads, but a gambler sneaks up behind her. Mark, from the house, shoots him through a window. Despite heavy losses, Wanda refuses to retreat. The neighbor's sniper provides cover, while Nina uses a smoke grenade to disorient the gang. Inside, Mark fights off an intruder by stabbing him in the eye and chest, ensuring he's dead. Meanwhile, Betsy runs out of ammo and retreats, injured. As the battle rages, the Plowboys arrive to avenge Jim but find themselves in a gunfight with the gamblers. Their truck destroys the barricades before triggering an explosive trap, which obliterates it. The last gambler is shot by a neighbor, but Wanda kills the sniper in retaliation. Inside the house, Betsy returns Nina's wedding ring to Mark before being fatally shot by Wanda. Just as Wanda turns her gun on Mark, Nina arrives and shoots her dead. With the gang eliminated, Nina confronts Phil in his house, only to find him already dead. She takes her father's gun from the table and notices the little girl staring eerily, suspecting she might be part of a rumored gang of children. Later, Nina gives Mark her father's gun. In return, Mark slips the wedding ring back onto her finger. Healed and united, the couple returns to the road, vowing to hunt gangs and protect other domestics. The radio host warns listeners not to cross them,